Hello, this vid is on whether the EU should impose a no-fly zone on Libya, and should the EU use airstrikes to destroy the Libyan Air Force, which is being used against by Colonel Gaddafi on his own people. Helicopters and other flying vehicles must be included in this no-fly zone, unlike in Iraq, where the no-fly zone only applied to fixed-winged aircraft. This allowed Saddam Hussein to slaughter the Kurds. No such mistakes must be made this time. No crop dusting helicopters, for instance, which can be mounted with machine guns, must be allowed to be used against the people. In Benghazi, over 1,000 people have reportedly been killed by Gaddafi's forces, and in Tripoli, similar amounts of people have been killed in clashes between Gaddafi supporters and the revolutionary people of Libya. What is certain is that it must be a Libyan-led revolution. The EU cannot simply invade Libya, as much as I would like it to support the revolutionary development of democracy there. What could happen, though, in my opinion, is that the Egyptians, who are very well armed with American arms, American tanks, Abrams-made battle tanks and fighter aircraft, and their own weapons as well, and the Tunisians could intervene in Libya to prevent a genocidal catastrophe caused by Gaddafi, who has said that he will not leave office. And since he is not the president of Libya, he cannot be removed legally. And since he was the leader of a previous revolution against the monarchy of Libya, he is only can be removed militarily because he's a colonel. Now, these are all ifs and buts and reasons why not to do things, but the Tunisians and the Egyptians together with the EU and the United States certainly have the power to remove Gaddafi. What is certain is that a good sniper could remove Gaddafi, but can this happen? Can this happen by Libyans? Well, if Libyans do it, they're risking their families, because already people have been shot and their families have been disappeared by the Gaddafi regime in the past few days, as they've refused to fire on these people, being the security services, have refused to fire on demonstrators. Baroness Ashton, or Caroline Ashton as she should rightly be known, has said that it must be a Libyan-led revolution, a Libyan-led and Libyan-solved problem. But the EU has done much to help these revolutions, in my view. All right, it has done things through its legal system that have made countries such as Turkey, countries in the near Middle East and the near North African countries start to re-evaluate their legal systems and use the EU as a model. This would be the ultimate gain for the EU in the revolutionary development of democracy throughout North Africa and the Middle East. Now, should there be airstrikes by the EU? Well, David Steele, a former Liberal Democrat peer, and who was deeply involved in the Bosnia conflict as the EU's negotiator there and the international community's negotiator, and he was also partly responsible with in the development of the Bosnia-Herzegovina and Serbian enclaves there, in formally recognising them legally. And also, this was asked by a BBC journalist of him whether that situation could be transposed to Libya. Now, Libya is a completely different country to Bosnia. It is a Sunni Muslim, influenced by Sufism, Islam, and is very homogeneous. very much one nation. Its roots go back way back even to Roman times, although it is a modern creation of as a state. What is certain is that the EU does have the power, as David Steele said, that we have bases in Malta and in southern Italy. We have carriers in the Mediterranean as we speak. A frigate from the HMS Cumberland is being sent by Great Britain to the Mediterranean to free the European people. There is over 10,000 Europeans living in Libya at the moment. Some 20 of those are in the middle of the desert without food, water or telecommunications. They've been working as oil company advisors. These people need to be rescued. Should the SAS be deployed to remove Gaddafi? This is another question. There are certainly moves going on behind the scenes by intelligence organisations, I should think, to ascertain what is going on, who is winning, and which side the EU wants, or Great Britain or the United States wants to play themselves to be on the right side of. But what is certain is that the revolutionary democratic forces seem to be winning, and they seem to be gaining the support of David Cameron, who said, for once I agree with him, that the right of democracy for everyone is an inalienable human right. So therefore InfoCamp and David Cameron both agree with one another. The people in the Middle East have a right, and it's almost racist to say that they do not have a right to democracy. So I'm prepared for lots of Israeli 50 centers out there to send me emails saying that the Arabs are incapable of democracy. But I believe they are capable of democracy. They are human beings and they have a right to democracy. Thank you for listening. I am for airstrikes against the Libyan Air Force, but we must be a subtle hyperpower. The EU must be a subtle hyperpower. We cannot be like Rome and just invade Libya. We must do everything to help the revolution. I hate Colonel Gaddafi. He is a terrorist. He has given money to terrorists all over the world. He did the Lockerbie bombing, arguably. He also is responsible for the deaths of a police officer outside the Libyan embassy. His campaign of terror now reaches towards his own people, and we must cut off these fingers of his forces before they reach and grasp a hold around the neck of the democratic revolution that is occurring in Libya. We must give all aid and supplies to the Libyan people to remove this brutal dictator and terrorist before it's too late. Thank you for listening.